How much were because you talk about these problems and these kind of you need to let them out and vent it. Presumably that's like in-game stuff and also out of game stuff. I wondered just from the outside view how much of those problems were exacerbated by obviously what was just a kind of quite, to put it plainly, I mean I was there, quite a cataclysmic 2023 run. Because I remember speaking to you at the beginning of the tournament personally, and it just being a thing where
Yeah.
like I kind of know when you're bullshitting or like it's fake confidence, but I could tell when I was speaking to you and the way that you spoke about it, where you were like, "Oh, we can go all the way." You definitely felt that way, and I,
Yeah.
being on the ground, I got that from all of you. Like I remember
Yeah.
we did that little TikTok at the beginning of the tournament when I think you beat, who was it? The first Swiss game, fourth
Weibo maybe.
Chinese seed, Weibo I think you beat. And then I remember after that, like just like all of you so keen to talk to me, so gassed, and there's such an energy. And then it all came crashing down in such a weird way.
Yeah.
How much did
Probably
that,
after energy, I guess.
yeah, how much did that exacerbate the problems? And also just talk to me about that tournament because it's such a mystery. Like, you really did, like in no uncertain terms, you all felt like you could go all the way. It felt, or at least very far.
Yeah. I mean, for sure we were all very confident from just winning in Europe, and even at MSI when we came there as second seed, we had like some decent games. It felt like I don't think we got like stumped in that tournament. So it felt like after we got our shit together and we won summer like quite convincingly, I felt like that we would do well. So of course we had high hopes. We were also doing well in scrims and all that. But I guess in 2023 we had a very linear strategy of how we won our games, which was basically just like play like hard pushing or like winning bot lane and then try to dive the enemy bot lane and just explode the game in like the 5 minutes. But then on stage, a lot of times we couldn't do that, so the games looked a lot more even, and then we were not as good at playing the game from that. And like in hindsight, like I think we were quite bad in 2023, so we would never be able to actually make it very far. Like even if we would have made other groups, we would have lost in groups like in quarters insta.
In
So
2023,
in 2023, yeah. So like in the moment when I was playing, I felt like we were insane. But like looking back at it, like rewatching the games, I think we were not very good at all. So because we just had like basically a strategy where we just snowball early, and if we don't do that, it sucks. So we were kind of just trying to abuse draft and early game planning, I guess, to win games. So if we couldn't do that, then we were kind of just losing. That's why I think we were quite bad, like as a team. But in 2024, I still believe we could have gone the whole way because I think we were good enough to do it. I think we were just like a bit limited in our approaches to the games, I guess. Um, yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, you can answer if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But 2023, the NLG loss, what the fuck happened there? Because like, I've heard rumors that there was some sickness. I've heard a lot
Okay,
of
there was sickness,
things.
yeah. Actually, I remember that was the first time I made like notes on my phone on the bus ride back. I think I still have it on my phone here. Let me see what I wrote. Okay, so I can give you the notes that I had from the NRG series
Okay.
after the games. So I wrote how can win. I wrote ban champs we don't play ourselves, which was Senna, and we don't want to. We have certain how do I describe this? Certain differences in opinions for certain champions like Vi and Jarvan. Then we need to make a good game plan and play around our win cons, not Ornn, because I guess in the game we buffed to Ornn or something. Then I wanted to pick tank top only with carry jungle and pick tank jungle with bruiser top. And then I said pick Nico Rasmus because he was so fucking good at Nico, like Caps. Like he was probably the best Nico I've ever seen, but we just never want to pick it. And then enemy teams always picked it. Don't be afraid, but a different word. Don't tunnel on first rotate carries and draft whatever is good for the game. Don't care about first timing because I guess we were scared of first timing champions. And make plans for TP usage. Game 2 first Drake. And if you don't play J4, don't pick Poppy either. Because we had some discussions about like apparently Ike was not good enough at Jarvan, so we didn't want to pick it. But I didn't think he was very good at Poppy either. But we just picked Poppy anyway. So kind of wanted us to pick Jarvan, or do either pick the champ that's good for the game, even if you're not that great at it, or just don't pick the champ that's not good at it. But yeah, I think there was a lot of issues already in NRG series. I don't think sickness had much to do with it because usually when you're sick, you might like not talk as much because you physically can't. Like maybe you think a bit like slower or whatever. But I don't think it was the main issue about why we lost. I think already like in the first game I remember We already got Monster drafted in the first 3 when they had like Vi, Nico, something, and then we picked Syndra into it. Because Syndra's gonna probably win lane into Nico, but playing against like Vi and stuff, or like I think they get Cassandra as well, it sounds kind of hard. Like we could have picked Cassandra into the Vi, for example, or something like this, but or yeah. Basically a lot of things. I don't think sickness was a big part of it. But yeah, it's an easy excuse to make, I guess, once you lose and people were in fact sick. But yeah. But
So,
overall, I just don't think we were good enough. Yeah.
so you think the main problem in that year, 2023, was lack of sort of binary play style, lack of dimensions?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's sort of
It was very
it was
dimensional.
quite interesting for me. I mean, maybe you could give me some insight on this. Yike is a player. I felt like when I watched MSI 2023, also the first event I ever worked at, so it's the first event I like went to. Yike had like a standout performance at that event. I remember he was like
Mm.
playing a lot of carries. I remember it was a thing
Yeah, he's good
where
pop moment.
lots of lots of the Chinese. I remember it was a thing where like that was like the first time, you know, the Hoopoo thing, the thing on
Yeah,
Twitter where people
the
Chinese
ratings.
fans give ratings. I mean, like obviously now it's completely like metastasized into like a completely like useless thing. I don't know if you saw at
Yeah,
Worlds, someone asked BDD after he lost finals, "You got a 9.9 on Hoopoo. What do you think about that?" So like
yeah,
now it's just worthless. Like everything League fans have ruined it. It was good.
yeah,
But I remember at 2023 it was the first time I saw it. Maybe it existed before. It was the first time I saw it. And lots of Chinese fans were saying that Yike is like, oh, he's the only Western player who like can compete against some of the Asian players. Especially because jungle was like so dominant in Asia right then. Especially at that
yeah.
tournament, you had Ona, Tarzan, all of these guys. Who was playing for BLG? I can't remember. Who has been not Wei. Fuck, I can't remember. My knowledge is so bad. But yeah. But then it felt like by the time we got to the inner worlds, he'd kind of like morphed in some ways. He wasn't really playing carries, or he wasn't as confident on some of them. And I remember there was a period where like he was playing carries in LEC, and then you were kind of making him play Maokai Sedge a lot of the time, and then he kind of
Ivern,
was Ivan. He was good on Ivan, to be fair. He's a good Ivan player.
he's good
But
on the trees.
yeah, but then it was a thing where at Worlds as well, it's like he wasn't really ever playing carries as well, and you kind of that's reflected in your note taking there as well. Well, let's pick tank top, carry jungler, or like bruiser top, tank jungler, or whatever. What
Basically, we
was?
just picked like double tank or pick double carry, but I
Yeah,
think we
yeah,
should
yeah,
have a mix. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What was going on there? Talk to me about kind of Yike's fit in the team that year. I suppose it's also interesting because he's also one of the people that was replaced alongside you.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff he was ended up playing was not really up to him what he wanted to play. He kind of just played whatever people told him to play. So I don't really remember like what we played at the time in 2023, but either the meta was just not like Belvet, Viego type things, because he was very good at those two, for example. Like in his first year, that was kind of his main champs. I remember his Lilia was pretty crazy as well. So I don't actually remember what we ended up playing in 2023. I can check it. But I think he was pretty good at most of the champions he played. Even the Jarvan that is supposedly not good, I thought he was actually fine on Jarvan. Like, because I remember in my first impression, not first impression, but my first games with Yike where we were doing tryouts for XL before I actually went to G2, and I was trying out Yike, and I was playing with the Jarvan, and I really liked how he was always there, following up with like flash EQ and man engages. I was like, holy, his Jarvan is good. That's why I was like, you know, I was on different ends of the his Jarvan is good or not opinion, but I did think his Poppy was pretty bad.
Who thought his Jarvan was bad?
I think most of the coaching staff did think he was pretty bad at it, so they didn't allow him to play it because we had like a thing where Jarvan was kind of OP and everyone was playing it, and then we had like after we were 2-2 or whatever, like we had like a few days break, so we had like 4 scrim days where we could have practiced Jarvan, and then we played one game of it where he like failed like a flash EQ or something like this, or EQ flash, he like failed it, and then we're like, Jarvan.
That's
That was kind
really
of the thing.
Isn't that like that's like really not a good way to approach that, no? Is you make one egregious
I mean,
mistake and you go,
I
we're
would,
not going to do it
yeah.
again.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, but I don't think his puppy was pretty bad, so I didn't want to play that. But we did end up playing that instead into the German, and then we lost.
Yeah, because
But
you
yeah,
went out. The final series in 2023 was against was it BLG?
mm, yeah, I think it's always BLG. I don't know. Uh, NRG into yeah, I think it was BLG in the end as well.
Yeah, because you ended up playing BLG again in your elimination game in 2024. And in
Yeah,
20 going into that must have been a thing because I think from what I remember, you went up 2-0 and you lost the map BO1, and isn't that what happened?
and we went 2024.
Nah, Worlds 2023. Pretty sure you went 2-0 in Swiss and then proceeded to lose the next three sets, no?
Oh yeah, Yeah. We were 2-0, and I think we got energy after. Or no, in the best of 3 we lost to Genji first, 0-2,
Yeah, and then you lost to BLG, and
and
then you
played
lost to
energy.
NRG, and then you lost to BLG. That must have. How does that feel? Because when you're going down that kind of slope, where you're like, oh, we're 2-0 so early. We're one of the only 2-0 teams. Oh wow,
Yeah.
we're going through, and it's just like every loss must just
Yeah.
feel like, oh wow. How did that feel when once you got to the 2-2 mark?
I mean, the thing is, even our 2 wins in the 2-0 did not feel very good because they were not very clean, you know. Like, it felt like both of our wins were kind of flukes. It was kind of like mega late game banger, could go either way kind of games. That didn't feel that insane to be 2-0. But and then after losing to Genji, we're like, okay, I mean, they were kind of just better, you know, happens. But then once we got energy, everyone thought we were gonna win, right? So we were like, okay, nice. Then we lost. That was kind of a rough one. And then there were just a lot of things we needed to kind of band-aid or fix to try to make it out. And yeah, I mean, we were just not very good back then, honestly.
Well, fair enough. It's quite interesting because sort of the general narrative is that you guys were good and you just kind of choked it, but you kind of just saying that yeah, we just sucked.
Nah, no, we kind of sucked, yeah.
2024 though, but you said you think you were the real deal in 2024 then.
Yeah, I think that probably could. I mean, 2024 we could have won, yeah. I still think we were a top 4 team at that tournament, so I think we could have easily won.
What made you so much better? What did you get better at?
I think we were just better at actually playing even game states out and knowing which ways we should contest or how to actually play the map. I think that was mainly the Duffman edition that helped us with that. Because even in whole 2023, even in EU, we were kind of just like stomping people early game, and we were just focusing a lot on playing early games and having good plans. Like I remember in reviews, we would always talk about like, oh yeah, in this level 1, what if they do this? Like we had like 3 different options they could do, and then we had to talk about the responses to each of their things that they could do, you know. So we're just very focused on early games and how we could play those. So we're quite good at that, but it was also kind of just linear. But then I guess 2024 with Duff, I think we were a lot better at just playing out games when they were even and knowing where to be on the map, how to trade. Because like in 2023 we did not trade anything. I remember the BLG series when I was playing like Bard. We were just so lost on the map. We had no idea what we were doing. Like I was playing Bard and I was just like grouping and stuff, and we just had like so many even number fights. Our TP usage was pretty bad as well, so
That was a
it was just like,
horrible experience for me watching that. Because it's like,
yeah,
do
it
you remember? Do
was
you remember?
rough.
I was in the front row, and so it's like whenever you would come out for that BLG series, we would like lock eyes
I
and
remember actually.
we'd look at each other. And I'd be like,
She was
yeah,
screaming
go
at
on, mate. And
me.
then like fucking, I just had to watch you guys just get. Because it was, I think the
Yeah.
series was 2-1, wasn't it? You did actually win a game, didn't you? Or was that in 2024?
In 2024 we won a game for sure, yeah. I don't remember if we won in
In
2023. Maybe.
23-3,
Oh, we did the Nickel bug. Yeah, we did win a game, yeah.
oh,
When I was playing Lissandra against
bug
BLG.
bug abusing.
Ah, that wasn't a bug.
Yeah,
It was an invention.
of course,
We
of
were the
course.
inventors.
Sorry, what were we talking about just then? Just before I cut you off there. Oh, in the 2024, you're talking about in 2024 the differences. You guys got a lot better at but it sounded like in 2023 it was more about working on improvisation and how to respond to random things that are happening in the game, whereas 2024 was more about just finding stable solutions and stable game states.
Yeah, that was just like mega early game versus just like overall in the game, how to play it.
Do you
That
think
was kind of
champ
the main
pools
difference.
changed? I mean, obviously champ pools always change because of the meta and stuff like that.
Um, no, I think it just kind of depends on the meta. And there was for sure some champs we didn't play. I mean, I was kind of just playing the same things. Like I was looking at my match history of 2023 recently, and I saw like there was a lot of same champions. It was just like a Rail, Nautilus,
Yeah, it
or
was interesting to me. I think
I
this is
kind
a
of felt like.
big topic for me because whenever I would speak to you in 2023, one of the things you'd always talk to me is about, oh, we have all these insane strategies that like we're going to play when it comes and like the big thing that it was always for me, and I felt I never said this to you because I was just like, oh, it's just gonna be like rubbing salt in the wound. But the thing you would always say to me is, oh, we got all these insane strategies to play when the time comes. When I
Yeah,
was just like, well done, fuckers. The time never came because you never played any of it. So I mean,
yeah.
now that it's
I
been,
mean, we had something
what did you
pretty
have?
OP, but Caps kind of was forced to use it this year against FlyQuest. So yeah,
Oh, what was it?
it was the Rihanna thing. Yeah, so OP. You know, think we can flash with the ball on it. So broken. But we wanted to do that.
I'm so confused what you're talking about. I don't know if I
You know,
just
in FlyQuest versus G2, where
yeah.
Mundo get the ball and then Morgana pressed ult and then Mundo flashed in onto the carries.
Oh right, yeah. What that is that?
Yeah, that was the thing people didn't really do like back in 2023 and 2024. So it was just like you can just do it on any champion. You just put the ball on them and then just flash in there on the carries, and
Well,
they
yeah.
can't
The
really
the
react.
champ that this is really broken on is Shaco. 'Cause you can just queue and have the
Yeah, on
ball
Shaker
on.
as well, for example.
Were you
But
playing Shaco?
yeah, no. I mean, I was playing in solo queue a bit, but not in scrims.
Yeah.
I was not allowed. But it was just like so broken because, especially not in fearless, I feel like if you do this once in like a best of 5, and if enemy doesn't respect it, then just ban the Oriana or pick it away. You can just keep abusing it, and it's just like it feel like it's so OP.
Hmm.
That's why I was also kind of confident back then that we were just gonna cheese some people. But yeah, we didn't really get to pull it out because I didn't want to do it in group stages. I wanted to wait for best of 5 to do it. But yeah, we didn't really make it there. So,
Listen, for what it's worth, I've messaged Yike quite a few times and tried to get Natty to teach him Mundo and Rengar even before Skumon started playing it. So I could have saved G2 in 2023, but obviously, much like the jester in
yeah,
every Shakespearean play, you don't listen to the guy who tells jokes until it's too late. But maybe next time
true.
you'll allow me to, in my great grace and retribution, save Europe once again.
Yeah. You know,
But
so the story about who cried wolf? Maybe that is more applicable.
Wolf won worlds like 3 times, mate. So you know what I mean. Hey, you like
Was it
that?
3? I
Swap that on
feel
you,
like it
mate.
was 2.
Yeah,
It
two.
was kind of 2.
Fucking hell. Would have been cold if I got it right. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. But 2024. Okay, so in any case, one of the and this taps onto what I was saying to you about this not using any of these crazy drafts. Even so, the stuff you were showing in Europe, talk to me about this fucking curse that G2 has, where it's like we play all this shit domestically, and we've got this own play style, and we get to fucking Worlds, and suddenly we're just fucking LCK fifth seed or Chinese fifth seed,
Yeah.
where we just play exactly what everyone else does. And this is interesting for you because the reason I know it's not your fault is because you're part of the original GT roster where creativity was the thing, and we keep the same identity throughout the year. So
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on there? Let's keep the record straight on that.
I mean, I guess in 2023, uh, we were playing some more unorthodox picks. I guess at the time, Kalista was considered an unorthodox pick, which was the only thing like the only team that played Kalista was us, and
Hmm.
we were kind of stomach people with Kalista Draven in scrims. But people started playing Kalista themselves and like banning it against us, so it was a bit harder. And I think we were actually at that point also playing Lucian bot lane when Draven and Kalista got banned, and we tried some Nyla, I believe. But it was a bit hard to make Nyla work, like especially like early 2-3 or like blind, because people just go like Talia or Poppy or whatever, and it would be hard to play. And after we lost to Gen G, I think we kind of swapped into just we need to just pick hyper carries and just like Zyrokan, because we didn't really play much Zyrokan back then, but I think me and Hans were very good at it. But we should just like pick Zyrokan or Kaisa or like hyper carries instead of playing like Lucian, Ezreal, Nyla, because that's something we would do back in the day, because these champs would be like strong in lane at early game. Um, but yeah, I guess most of the time why people don't pull out stuff in international tournaments is because probably doesn't work in scrims. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the major insanity of it that everyone will go back to, and you can already see people in the chat talking about, is this Oriana Nocturne thing that you guys just. I remember
Oh yeah.
watching that at Worlds 2024 and just being very, very frustrated watching. So I was just like, because it was like I think the one of the games you won in Swiss, it was like we played like a G2 draft, and it was like,
It was
well,
Weibo, yeah,
I was
probably.
just like, well, why aren't we doing that every game? Why are we playing Oriana Nocturne?
I mean, I remember. Okay, so the main thing about why we played Oriana Nocturne was just we thought it was OP. Like in scrims, we played Oriana Nocturne against us, it was OP, and we played it against them, it was OP. So it was kind of the meta to either first pick Oriana and the enemy team first picks Nocturne away 1-2, and then Nocturne is going to Oriana. So that's why then you pick Nocturne first pick, and then enemy has to go like Akali or Ari or something with a dash. So then you pick Oriana, and then you have a combo, and then you also win lane, blah blah blah, something like this. Um, and I remember we played it against Weibo, and already that game, even though we won it, it was like a very sloppy win. Like we were just like tunneling so much on doing the combo. Where we would just start to group mid, everyone just walk mid, and we're like, oh, let's look for this Jin when he walks up for this wave. And then turns out Jin just didn't walk for the wave. He just like pressed W from his tower, and then we're like, we just wasted like 30 seconds of our time trying to go for a guy that doesn't actually have to go for the wave. So we're just very tunneled, especially in stage games, because everyone's more nervous and stuff about doing the thing, the Rihanna combo. Um, and then I guess after that we just played it 2 more games, and I think we just didn't realize fast enough that if enemy just picks champions that can't just get one shot by the combo, then the combo doesn't really it's not that OP. Because I think against BLG that draft they had LeBlanc, who you can't really ult, Kaisa, which is also pretty hard. He can kind of get out even if he gets ulted. Alistar, you don't want to go on. I think they had Skarner or something as well, something tanky. So just like a very hard Orianna Nocturne game. And I think after that we did it again though. But yeah, I don't know. It was basically just something that was OP in Scrim, so we just picked it, And yeah.